Headlines most affecting Abbotsford this week. The Provincial Election Count continues. The Conservatives swept Abbotsford. Record rainfall for Abbotsford. The IIO investigating the conduct of an Abbotsford police officer. And from pitching with MEI to the MLB, a local gets a Rookie Award nod. Alex will have more in sports. All right, Abbotsford, let's get started. The initial count is complete for all electoral districts across the province. Elections BC preparing to what they call administer the final count for the 2024 provincial general election. So under the Elections Act, the final count can't begin until at least the fourth day after the final voting day. And candidates cannot officially be declared elect until the final count is complete. Here's the caveat. That won't happen until this weekend. Now, there are two recounts. Neither one of them are in the Fraser Valley. At the conclusion of the initial count, voter turnout was estimated around 57.4%. That is up from the election of 2020. That was 53.8% of registered voters. The close of the initial count, 2,037,000 ballots were cast, the most ever in a provincial election. The previous record was 1.9 million. That was back in 2017. Now, the Conservatives swept Abbotsford, all the Abbotsford area ridings. Harman Bangu won Langley Abbotsford. Rianne Gaspar won Abbotsford Mission. Bruce Banman, who left the BC United for the Conservatives, won Abbotsford South. Corky Neufeld won Abbotsford West. Now, Neufeld is an Abbotsford school trustee, so he's going to have to resign that post, and there will be a by-election to be called in the coming weeks for Abbotsford School Board. The cleanup continues after this weekend's atmospheric river. There were new records set in Abbotsford, as well as Pitt Meadows, White Rock, Langley, Chilliwack, and Agassiz. Now, on Saturday, October the 19th, in Abbotsford, there was a new record, 82.1 millimeters of rain. That beat the old mark of 72.6 millimeters. That was set back in 1966. Independent Investigations Office is looking into the conduct of an Abbotsford police officer. On July 31st, 2023, an officer conducting a routine patrol in an unmarked police vehicle traveling along Clearbrook Road reportedly observed a man to be illegally engaging in an incident near Mount Waddington Avenue. The officer pulled over and attempted to place this man under arrest, but there was an altercation, and the man was being taken into custody. The man was transported to the APD detachment, and that's when emergency health services were called to assess the situation. Now, EHS then transported the man to hospital for treatment, where he was found to have sustained a serious injury. So IIO was notified about this incident shortly after it occurred. On October 17th, the BC Supreme Court Justice released her decision to uphold the City of Abbotsford's bylaw. The Justice denying the application by the Matsqui Abbotsford Impact Society on behalf of the drug war survivors for an injunction preventing the City of Abbotsford from implementing its bylaw and closing down a homeless encampment at City Hall. Now, the city will continue to, quote, work closely with BC Housing and the province of BC on addressing these encampments and homelessness in the community. An update on TEDx Abbotsford presenting the 2024 event, The Power of Gratitude. It'll come up Friday, November the 15th. That'll be at UFV Abbotsford. Now, this year's event promises to be what's called a profound exploration of nature of gratitude and its impact on mental, physical, and society. A complete list of speakers is now available on their social media. The annual Remembrance Day Poppy campaign started this week. The Abbotsford First Poppy ceremony was held in the Mayor's Chambers this past Wednesday and then presented to His Worship Ross Siemens. Now, you will start to see cadets and veterans asking for donations. All that money goes to provide services for veterans. Coming up, from pitching with MEI to the majors, a local lad gets Rookie of the Year honors. Alex will have more in sports.
Hello Abbotsford, let's talk some sports. Starting with my favorite sport, baseball. As the Cleveland Guardians took on the New York Yankees in the ALCS, an Abbotsford pitching prodigy picked up a major award. Cade Smith was named to the 2024 MLB All-Rookie Second Team. The middle relieving pitcher has made a name for himself. Sadly, the Guardians lost to the Yankees, and Cade played ball with MEI in Abbotsford. Much of the focus of the PGA Tour's fall season is centered on players trying to fight their way to the top 25 or stay inside that magic number to retain their playing privileges for 2025. But there's another race that gets less attention, and Abbotsford's Nick Taylor is in the thick of it. Players who finish the fall season 51st to 60th on the FedEx Cup points list earn a couple of nice perks in 2025. They'll get into two of the big money signature events next year at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am on California's Monterey Peninsula and the Genesis Championship at Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California. That battle is the reason why Taylor has played so much of the fall season. He's only missed one of the first three fall events and is heading to Japan to play this week's Zozo Championship. Taylor tied for 54th last week's Shriners Children's Open in Las Vegas and didn't budge from his 58th spot on the points list. Taylor is only guaranteed one signature start next year. He'll be in the field for season opening Century Tournament in Maui by virtue of his win this year's Phoenix Open. As the rain fell, Jazz Deep Dollywall and the UFE women's Cascades soccer team bounced back from a 6-1 defeat on Friday afternoon in Chilliwack to finish off their season with a 2-1 victory over the UNBC Timberwolves on Seniors Day in Abbotsford on Sunday. With the win, the young Cascades squad finishes their season in 7th place with a 3-9-2 record. On the UFE men's soccer side, Matteo Brasinia picked up a goal and an assist on Friday night in a 4-2 loss to the UBC Thunderbirds before Jackson Cowks and the Cascades claimed a 2-1 victory over the University of Victoria on Sunday afternoon. Brasinia's 2 points gave him 17 on the season, breaking Gurman Jaja's single-season program record of 15. Brasinia also finishes the season as the conference leader in both goals and assists. The Cascades now get set for the Canada West quarterfinal, where they take on the Calgary Dinos on Friday at UBC. The game is set for 4 p.m. Pacific time and can be seen both in person and live on Canada West TV. The UFE women's volleyball team picked up a pair of victories in an opening weekend set against the Alberta Pandas. The Cascades enacted a bit of revenge as the team picked up a 3-set and a 4-set victory over the Pandas in rematches of last season's Canada West bronze medal match. The Cascades were ranked 6th in the annual Canada West Coaches Poll, while the Pandas were ranked number 2 in the preseason. The UFE men's volleyball team dropped a pair of matches to the Alberta Golden Bears as they started their 2024-25 season on Friday and Saturday at the UFE Athletic Center. The Cascades dropped a 4-set decision on Friday before falling in 3 sets on Saturday to start the season 0-2. Up next, the Cascades now head on the road for a pair of matches with the Mount Royal Cougars next Friday and Saturday in Calgary. Game times are set for 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. respectively, and games can be seen live on Canada West TV. That's been your sports. Now coming up, Cari with the weather.
AbbyTV weekend weather. So, Cari, are we expecting a typical end of October weather?
Hey Chilliwack, we are on the new Chilliwack Community Services breezeway. The P is going up. This is quite an historical day. Our weather for this weekend is going to be nasty. Lots of rain, temperatures not much above 12 degrees. Next week, sun, cloud, and some rainy periods in between, so typical fall weather. Here's a fun fact. November 24th is United Nations Day. It's the day we signed the UN Declaration in 1945. Back to you, Don.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. Stay dry. I'm Don Lehn.